Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen amma ba'd fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulallah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Habiballah. Dars from Quranic Wonders, Part 1, point number 2. A stone that sprint. A stone that ran. It was a square stone measuring 1 arm length on both sides, approximately 1.5 by 1.5 feet. Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam would always carry it in his bag. 2 miracles of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam occurred through this blessed stone that have also been mentioned in the Holy Quran. The first miracle. The first wonder exhibited by this stone, which is in fact a miracle of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, was its long run full of wisdom. The discovery of this stone is also by virtue of this miracle. Now the detail of this wonderful event are presented. It was the tradition of the Bani Israel to bathe nude publicly. Although Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, who was also a member of the same society, was born and raised in the same environment, Allah Azza wa Jal raised his ranks by blessing him with a dignified status of prophethood. Therefore, how could the dignified modesty of prophethood adopt such immodesty? Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam was very much against the immodesty of the Bani Israel. He alayhi salam would either bathe in isolation by covering his body with a sheet. When the Bani Israel saw that he alayhi salam had not yet taken bathe nude, the wicked people blamed him by saying him that he alayhi salam had a white mark of leprosy on his private parts, or had some kind of deformity on his body when he alayhi salam concealed by not getting undressed in public. So this was their thought of the Bani Israel, that they thought that this was the case. The wicked people openly announced this blame, so much that was not a corner to which the rumors about Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam had not reached. He alayhi salam was very much grieved and saddened to this blame. Obviously, Allah Azza wa Jal did not like to see his beloved Kaleem in such a state of grief and anxiety, and to see his honourable Prophet being falsely blamed. The most merciful Rabb Azza wa Jal created such means of freeing Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam from the blames, declaring his purity, that completely killed the evil plans and doubts of the Bani Israel within a few minutes. The evidence of his purity from such blames became evident more than the shining sun that brightens the entire world. Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam went to bathe at a hidden spring of water in the midst of the mountains. After making sure that there is no chance of anybody, he alayhi salam placed his blessed clothes on a stone and proceeded to bathe completely nude. Obviously, he knew that there's nobody around him now. After taking bath, he alayhi salam returned to the stone to wear his clothes. He alayhi salam saw that the stone was running away. Subhanallah. The stone was running away, taking his clothes with it. Upon seeing this, Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam also ran after it, saying, "O stone, my clothes! O stone, my clothes!" The stone kept on running. It ran to the extent that it entered the main avenues of the city and eventually ran into the streets of the city. Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam kept on following the stone whilst having no clothes on. This way, the youth and adults of the Bani Israel witnessed with their own eyes that the blessed body of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam had no deformity from head to toe, and instead every limb of the blessed body of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam had such perfection and beauty that it was impossible to find such example among ordinary people. Therefore, they also exclaimed, "By Allah, Musa is flawless." When this stone exposed the purity and perfection of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, it automatically stopped. Subhanallah. So once They had seen that his blessed body is perfect. The stone then eventually stopped, and then he was able to take his clothes from it. When this stone exposed the purity and perfection of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, it automatically stopped. Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam put on the clothes and put the stone in his bag. Allah Azza wa Jal has described this event in the Holy Quran in the following words. Translation from Kanzul Iman. O believers, do not be like the people who troubled Musa. So Allah cleared him from the allegations that had uttered, and Musa is honorable in the sight of Allah. Subhanallah. Now the second miracle. In the plains of Tih, it was the same stone that Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam struck with his blessed staff. What is a staff? A staff is a stick. Struck with his blessed staff, and consequently like a walking stick, like a stick, and consequently 12 springs of water emerged from it. So that same stone was struck with the blessed staff, and consequently 12 springs of water emerged from this blessed stone. The Bani Israel used this water for 40 years. Details of this event have already been mentioned in the previous pages in the verse of the Holy Quran. Part 1 of Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 60. Stone refers to the same stone. Remedy of doubt. Those who do not believe in miracles judge everything using imperfect intellect. They deny the miracle of emergence of springs of water from the stone by considering it to be impossible, and say that our intellect cannot accept the fact that the 12 springs of water emerged from such a small stone. It is a common observation that Allah Azza wa Jal has blessed some stones with the characteristics of removing hair. Some make vinegar more bitter and sour. Some have magnetic power that can attract metal from distance, and some make poisonous animals run away. Some can work as antidotes for poison of the animals. Certain stones can even provide relief in cardiac palpitations. Some do not burn nor heat up. Some can even produce flame, and there is eruption of volcano from some stones. So there are different characteristics of certain stones. So when Allah Azza wa Jal has bestowed stones with such various attributes, then why is it so difficult to accept the fact that Allah Azza wa Jal blessed the stone of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam with such effects? Perhaps Allah Azza wa Jal blessed it with the characteristics of absorbing water from inside the earth and manifesting it in the shape of springs. Or probably this stone had the effect that the breeze that would come across it would flow constantly in the shape of water. It is not beyond the power of Allah Azza wa Jal. Anything could have happened. As by Allah's decree, anything can take place. Therefore, to believe in this miracle of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam is an essential religious requirement. And to deny it is profanity. It is mentioned in the Holy Quran, translation from Kanzul Iman, and there are some rocks that streams gush forth from them, and some split apart and water flows from them, and there are some rocks that fall down for the fear of Allah. Subhanallah. Anyway, water emergence from the rocks is a common observation. Then why it is difficult for one's intellect to accept the fact of the springs of water emerging from the blessed stone of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam.